Before I started working with the ESB, when I was doing it was basically a poetry business. So I was writing wedding speeches for people in rhyme and as normal speeches, and it was kind of developing, and I was kind of doing a lot of the kind of stay-at-home dad stuff, which I love doing, but you're busy all the time, and you rarely get to kind of focus on your art, as opposed to when your art is your business, it's business. But every now and again, when it's 2 weeks before Christmas and you've so much stuff to do and you've banned your daughter from the laptop because she's been misbehaving, and now you have to try wash the dishes and entertain her at the same time. And I got her to write Christmas cards, so she was 7, she's a really good writer, she's really clever. So basically I was washing up at the sink and giving her the directions on, who's this card to, and then their addresses and all that kind of stuff. And then she just asked me, who are all these people? Like, where do we all come from, And I ended up kind of going into a big kind of spiel about my parents, our history, their grandparents, our uncles, all these relations that we had, these, going back through time. And I think it's one of the really beautiful things about Ireland, is that we have big families, and we have culture, we have ties to our land, we have ties to our traditions, we have people who love us, we have aunts who pray for us, whether we believe in that or not, and then I got a bit deeper. Then it went back a little bit further, and into our older history, our kind of older ancient history of Ireland. And anyway, it was before I knew it, the washing up was done and all the Christmas cards had been written, and it was great. And this is just called a father-daughter moment. It's 4 days before Christmas and I'm at the kitchen sink. It's one of those rare quiet dad moments when I get a chance to think. My daughter's off her head with boredom and there's no laptop allowed, and the list of chores now looming is a black and hanging shroud. Now the feat of multitasking isn't confined to one gender, and the universe provides me with the tools to cool her temper. And in a rare outlying case of homo multi laboris, I make her write the Christmas cards while I dictate the chorus. Dear Pat and Sean and Mary, all the uncles and our aunts, season's greetings, hope to see you when we're up if there's a chance. Second cousins we are close to, and friends from Christmas past, we dwell on ghosts of Christmas future that sadly never came to pass. And her 7-year-old fingers are fluid in their focus. She's adding unicorns and teddy bears. She's gas, my little lotus. When suddenly from nowhere, she hits me with a question. Daddy, where do we all come from? Is her innocent expression. Now, sideways, I suppose, is the most apt of close descriptions of my direction with her directness that probed with inquisition. So I cleared what remained of my cloudy daddled mind and provided her our lineage unfolding back through time. I told her of my own folks and how they met and offered no one harm, their betrayals and their hardships and how they lost their farms. I told her of our freedom fighters that fought the blackened hands, of my great uncle, his flying column, our granny Incomunda man, and Father Mike, her brother, through Kenya's bloody struggles, he hid refugees and families and snuck them through the jungle. And my great aunt Katie went to Queensland and she married an MP, and of how the checks would land each year to help her family, and how on her return home with her husband from Brisbane, they got Furban's first flushing toilet and they evolved to porcelain. My granddad Fallon, fleeing Britain's draft, he made it to New York. He joined the infantry at Camp Dix when the Lusitania sank off Cork. I tales of living legend relatives that wed Sicilian circus folk who settled out in Muckla when their final wagon broke, and all our artists and all our outcasts as far back as I could go. The Caniffs, the Winds and Claffeys. Is that enough? She then says, no. Before that, Daddy, was there dinosaurs? Says I, yeah. But that was ages. So I racked my neural pathways on my quantum mental pages. Far off histories of Ireland as best I could recall. The Fianna, the originals, not those chancers in the Dáil. I told her about the little folk, of how hunger broke us from the Ice Age to the Vikings, of Brian Boru and Grania Whale and the book of Durrow's writings, the iron grip of Cromwell and the whip of papal rope, the Mass-rocks and the Druids and the visions that brought hope. And to visions then that shattered trust and inscribed our lore in blood, and how Good Friday brought a rebirth of not just peace, but opened pubs. And all the yarns and myths and legends of the bloodlines we inherit, and how being Irish is a chromosomal trait of ancient merit. And I did my best resisting Google for filling in the blanks. We returned to Yuletide greetings with a simple nod of thanks. And some sort of understanding passed between us in the ether. As I scrubbed, she scribbled silently towards the task that I bequeathed her. And bar inquiries of spellings of my relatives' abodes, ignoring altered digispeak of new age sought air codes, we addressed and stamped the envelopes and we readied them for post. And this treasured father-daughter moment is what has measured Christmas most. Thank you very much.